Anybody else? Okay, so let's do this. 3 things today. What can Edpuzzle do? Some snags to avoid that I've come across, and where to find some training. None of those things are step-by-step directions on how to use Edpuzzle. So I don't know if that's the best use for our time. I kind of just want to pique your interest if you aren't aware of what it can do, show you some easy problems that you can fall into, and then show you where to get help you might need. And if you want to access this presentation, it is with this URL at the bottom, and I'll post that in the chat at the end also. Okay, so first up, what can Edpuzzle do? So if you know nothing about it, you might still know it has something to do with videos. You can assign videos to students, and you can do this through Classroom, which is nice. I think most of us use Google Classroom. If you used a different learning management system like Edmodo or Schoology or all those other things, they could also talk to Edpuzzle nicely. You can also share a public link, so if someone's not in your classroom, you can share that. I think when I first started out, I didn't know what I was doing, and I accidentally shared a public link with my students. Fine, they could access the video and do the questions. I couldn't see their answers. They didn't know that. They were just happily working along. So if I was using it with students, I definitely want to be able to collect the data. Because if it was just about sharing a video, I could post it on YouTube, or I could share it through Google Drive. The real power of this is the information that you can collect.
So there is a way that I can see their responses.
Absolutely.
Even if because we've sent some out and I haven't been able to see what their responses are. So
I can show you where to look for those things.
Okay.
Yep. So 2 thumbs up for tracking student progress. You can figure, okay, did you do your homework? You can figure out if they really did it. Was it on time? Was it late? How long did it take them to watch it? How many times did they watch it? You can collect all this creeper knowledge about your students. So here's a screenshot. I have 4 students in my class, teachers' names you may recognize. And right away, you see Stacy did the assignment late. So that's some interesting information. And I can see that Jen didn't even start the assignment at all. So that tells you something. When it comes to grade, it has to do with what percentage of the questions they answered correct. I am less interested in their score here. That's one of the least things. I want the feedback, but I don't care about points. Okay. Why does this one say 100 out of 100 and this one says nothing? Well, Bo and Stacy completed it. I just didn't score all their questions yet. Okay. I can click deeper, and if I click on Ross's name, I can see that he watched this section twice. And you may be thinking, well, what is a section? Well, sections are where the video is broken up based on questions that I inserted. So every one of these little green teardrops is a place that I asked a question. And maybe Ross didn't know the answer, so he had to rewatch it. I can see that he watched this question twice. And maybe they're not getting how to solve that math problem, and you can see that they had to rewatch that 5 different times. That gives you some valuable information. I can see that he spent 8 minutes total on this video and when they turned it in. Okay. Providing feedback to students' answers. So 3 thumbs up here. This is not 3 thumbs up because it is the 3rd thing. It is because it's my favorite part about this. They can get feedback immediately if it is a question that got graded because it was multiple choice or true false. And they could additionally get feedback if it is a short answer that I have to review. That could help them change their answers when studying, and it also gives me information. At this point, you may be wondering, well, what all can you insert into an Edpuzzle? Multiple choice questions, which could be true false. Open-ended and text comments. Those are my 3 favorite that I use. You can also do audio comments. So in the past, I've started a video with, hey guys, make sure you look for this. That's an option. Total voiceover. If you want, you could completely wipe the audio track from a video, and then you could talk over it. It has its role. I just haven't used it. Okay, I'll pause here. Any questions or comments so far? Okay.
Clarissa,
Uh-huh.
I can find a little hand to raise my hand here, but I'm raising my hand. So do you have like how many specific points for, like, if you want to do a open-ended answer where they have to type what you're expecting or some answer they have to make up, like, how did you have points for that, or those are no points?
Okay, so first, maybe points, sometimes not. If I'm going to give a students for a grade for an Edpuzzle, it's just going to be a very, very small participation grade. That's it. Like, they don't understand math to know how much of a difference this does not make in their grade. That's how small these assignments are. First. Second, I'm just going to go, you got it 100% right or 100% wrong, just to keep it easy on me. And so I would just click the check mark green, you got it right 100%. I'm not going to play around with points inside here. That's my personal preference.
But we have that option? Do we have that option to say, okay, true, false, 5 points or 2 points or whatever, or 1 point, whatever?
It's always going to be out of 100 as a percentage. I haven't played around with it. I'm not sure if I could give them a 50% or not. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. What I will do sometimes, if I don't even want to go through and give a lot of feedback on every single open-ended, I'll just go over it with the whole class at once. That's something else I'll do. Okay, so how easy it could be. Once you've gotten over the learning curve and you figure things out and you've already got the video in the website and you're going back the next year to use it, it could be as simple as 6 clicks to get a video. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, I've got some folders here that I made, but I'm going to go down and this is the video that I'm interested in. I'm going to click the checkbox and I get a menu that shows up at the bottom. And what I want to do is assign that. Who do I want to assign it to? I want to assign it to my example class that's linked up through Classroom. A due date? Let's give them till Wednesday. Save. Okay. Prevent skipping? Heck yeah. I don't want them to skip ahead. I want them to watch it. Post on Google Classroom. Yes, make it easy for me. And then I can click Assign and post it to Google Classroom for me. It could be that easy, but there is a learning curve to get there. I think it's a big learning curve compared to some other technology because there are a lot of things that you could click on in Edpuzzle. Okay. Oh, the don't skip ahead. So you set the default to not let them skip so they watch it. We know in reality that doesn't necessarily mean they watched it. They could have hit play and left the room. We know that. Okay, so just a thought. So some easy snags to fall into and how to avoid those. Logging in stuff. Okay, this is a lot of text. You can read it later. What I'll just say is, if the student has their phone and they clicked on the link and then it opens up and they're logged into a different Gmail account, It's not going to work. It needs to go through their student Gmail account. So that's the first point. The second point actually happened to Mr. Brower. I put him in my fake class and I assigned him that video, and he saw it on Classroom and he went to click on it, but he couldn't watch it because he was previously logged into Edpuzzle as a teacher. He had to log out of Edpuzzle, log in as a student with the exact same email address to be able to watch what I assigned to him. That's weird. Okay, when would this be a problem? Should you use the Edpuzzle PD? Or if you have a co-teacher or a para, and they've joined Google Classroom as a student, I add my co-teachers and paras as a teacher. But if they were joined as a student and they previously logged in, this could be an issue. Okay, maybe you just ignore this and it's there for reference if you come across this problem. Kind of a complicated snag. Another snag in class use. If I try to use this with the entire class, we're all buffering and we're stuck. And that is very frustrating. So my solution is station work. Half the class does Edpuzzle while the other class, half the class does something else. And we switched and that worked fine enough for us. Or assigning it as homework. I have some points to say about homework. It should never be, in my opinion, it should never be due the next day. I want to make sure that students who don't have the best internet access and device at home still have an opportunity to figure this out. And so I want them to be able to have access to the library, academy. I've gone into detention and Thursday school before and said, hey, you have a video due, go get yourself a Chromebook. And I will always email Transition Lab and Reel because I know there are computers in those rooms should the student have time to access it. So am I going to use Edpuzzle now that we don't see our students? If I do, I'm going to need to provide a text copy of the information that is as quality as the video. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I have not yet assigned an Edpuzzle to students because I don't know if everyone has the same. I know everyone doesn't have the same access. There. Okay, here's another snag. This is a screenshot from my phone. Open in app. You have to. If you're using a mobile device, you have to use their app. Well, I don't want to do what I don't want to do, and I don't want one more app, and I don't have a choice. Maybe there's a workaround that's available on the internet, but I don't know what it is. So that could also be an issue for students if they are not allowed to or don't want to download apps. I get that. Importing students, another potential snag. I have 6 students in my example class, but Edpuzzle says I have 4 students. It's because those 4 students that I invited were speedy, and they accepted my invitation to Google Classroom. And 2 students took a little longer. And I had already imported my class into Edpuzzle from Classroom before those other students had joined. It's a simple fix, but it'll get you. If a student joins in the middle of the year, you've added them to Google Classroom, good job you, and they can see the assignment on the Google Classroom stream. They can't access it until you hit import students and sync them back up. Wouldn't it be cool if Google Classroom and Edpuzzle automatically did this? Yes, it would, but it doesn't. Selecting videos, another potential snag. Okay, down here, popular channels. Maybe you want to pick a video from YouTube or Khan Academy or something. But if YouTube is content filtered out on your device, then it's also going to be content filtered out through Edpuzzle. So what's your workaround? You need to upload your own videos, which means you may have had to download them, which is not always easy. Okay, that's another snag that you could come across. Oh, this one is funny because it really makes me mad, and it is so simple. I get lost on the homepage. I'm exhausted, it's the afternoon, and I'm brain fried, and I type in Edpuzzle, and I don't know what to click on. There's a really simple fix. First, what do we see on the homepage? Science in your school. Well, that's great that Ross Brower made a video, but that's not why I came to Edpuzzle. I want to assign stuff to my kids. So I just bookmark this website because it directs me directly to my folders and the place where I go to upload. It's silly, but it really makes me mad that is not the default. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I've just kept clicking places, and I'm in this cycle, and I can't figure out what to click on because I'm too tired. And all I want is my folders or to add content. Okay, so maybe you're interested and you want to know how to do it. Three training options for you. One, Edpuzzle has an extensive library of text directions, not only for teacher, but for student and parent. So you click on teacher. Under getting started, you have all of these options. Under creating videos and lessons, there's additional options. And that's where you're going to find your step-by-step text directions on how to do this stuff. So there's one route. Another route is to do their PD. You will be a student in an Edpuzzle class, if you will. Oh, I'm so sorry. The first 4 are actually for Edpuzzle. They've got others too. When I did this, all I had was Edpuzzle Coach. So that's the one I did. I'm going to recommend that if you're interested, go ahead and do the Edpuzzle level 1. 40 minutes plus or minus user time. But you're going to be a student going through Edpuzzles. So it gives you that experience of seeing what the students like. And the videos you watch are going to be tutorials on how to use it as a teacher. So that could be helpful. First bar, Edpuzzle. This one's Google Tools, so maybe that's interesting. Help teach you some Google Tools. But you're going to have that login issue. I stay logged into my browser as a teacher. I'm going to have to log out and be a student to be able to access these. And then the third resource for you, if you're interested, is some PDFs, some cheat sheets, 7 pages and 13 pages. And I know it's a lot for a cheat sheet. Let me click on one and show you. But they walk you through how to do things without having to read a million internet pages, without having to do 40 minutes if you're just looking for something. So there's another option for you. Okay, so link to this presentation. Let me copy that and put that in the chat, should you be interested. Yeah, just take the whole thing, why not? And if you haven't, the cumulative recap is really the best way to go. If you haven't looked at this, let's see if I can share with you what that is. It's a spreadsheet, and in it, I say what every topic was for the week, the links to all of them, and then this link does work indefinitely. So really, that's the only document you need. Okay, well, how do you get that? Friday 4 recap. Okay, so questions, comments? Have you used it? What's worked well? How do you not use it? We could also talk about things that you have done this week, what you plan to do next week, and any future topics that you may want me to talk about.
Our curriculum specialist has created these Edpuzzles for us to put into Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I copy hers and then create it into, make a copy of it into my Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I attach it as a link on the Google Classroom. But like I said, I didn't ever go into Edpuzzle to create anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see the grades anywhere.
Correct. So you would want to log into Edpuzzle
Okay.
and copy your curriculum coordinator's lesson to your library and then share it from your library.
So copy.
I will write that in text directions in the chat.
Okay.
Because if you're just sharing a link, then she's getting all the data and you're never seeing how students are doing.
Right.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm tracking. Smell it, you're stepping in. Okay, and on that note, I will turn off the recording.